Good evening, everybody. Well, welcome back to the council chamber. It's been a long time since we've been here, hasn't it? I'd just like to introduce all our planning committee members here tonight. On my left, I have Councillor Bindloss, Councillor Brown, Councillor Chandler, Councillor Hewson, and on my right, I have Councillor Posnett, Councillor Higgins, Councillor Illingworth, Councillor Pritchett, Councillor Steadman, and Councillor Wood. We also have a team of officers present this evening. The Assistant Director for Planning and Delivery, Jim Worley, the Planning Development Manager, Louise Parker, Senior Planning Officer down at the very end there, Richard Redford, Planning Solicitor, Tom Pickwell to my right, Senior Democratic Services Officer, Adam Green, and I did see Catherine Richards, who is Democratic Services Officer. I think she's down the bottom there somewhere. So thank you, everybody. Just a little bit of general housekeeping. The fire escapes are on the left, on my left, and in front of you or behind you, whichever end of the table you're sitting on. So please, if the fire alarms do come on, please make your way outside and officers will assist you at the fire assembly point. Right. Members speaking. Please raise your hand if you wish to speak and use the microphone in front of you, remembering to turn it off once you have finished. I see most of you have taken off your face mask, so that's acceptable for sitting in this meeting. But should you get up and move around the room, please put your face masks back on. And if you do leave the room, it's that entrance over there next to the other large screen. Thank you very much. Also, this meeting is being recorded, and remember it's being live streamed. Please put your phones onto silent, if you wouldn't mind, please. And I've just done mine, so that's what I was fiddling around at. So thank you very much, everybody. This evening's agenda. Item 1, apologies for absence. We've had apologies from Councillor Holmes, and this evening we have Councillor Pritchett, who is substituting for her. I'd like to confirm the minutes of the previous meeting of the 29th of April. Can we have a proposer, please? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll propose them.
Okay, thank you. And a seconder? Oh, Councillor Steadman, it's difficult seeing it.
I'll second.
Yeah. Right, Councillor Steadman. If we could all show our hands in favour of the minutes, please. Thank you. That's unanimous, apart from Councillor Pritchett, who wasn't there at the meeting, and also Councillor Illingworth, who wasn't at the meeting either, were you? Thank you. That's brilliant. Thank you. It's unanimous for those that were there at the meeting. Declarations of interest. Please note the content of the advice on of members' interest, and if you think you have a personal, either non-pecuniary or pecuniary interest or bias, please state that now. Councillor Posnett.
I have a personal interest as a member of Leicestershire County Council. Thank you.
I automatically look to you because I know you're going to be commenting on that one. Thank you. Well, this evening we have two items on our agenda. We do not have any speakers. And the first item is item 4.1, which is 21/00290, full 4 Hectordeck Lane, Nether Broughton. Officers, it's going to be Louise addressing the committee on this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Can we have the presentation, please? And the next slide, please. Thank you. So the application is brought before you members, as it is a member of staff who's the applicant. There's not a lot more detail to add to the report on this one. It would otherwise be a delegated report. Just to point you to paragraph 4.5 of the report, which details the observations of the local highway authority. Can we have the next slide, please? So these are elevations to the front and the rear, which will show how the proposal would appear if permission is granted. Next slide, please. And the uses of the rooms. So at the ground floor, there's an enlarged kitchen and a master bedroom at the first floor. For the reasons stated within the report, the recommendation is to permit subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Do members have any questions? Councillor Higgins.
Because it's going to be one of those type of evenings, I think, and probably people will be watching us on YouTube. You never know. Best free show in town, as people say. I'm going to ask two obvious questions, which I think, well, it's in the report and I know the answer, but it's more because of the technology. I understand that the parish council have discussed the matters and they've raised no objection, but are there any other neighbour objections to this?
Other than what the detail that's in the report?
I'm just doing this for the YouTube viewers, really. So if you just can, because they won't necessarily see the report. We don't have anyone here. We don't have the parish council talking. So I'm just trying to, if anyone's watching it, because it's an employee of the council.
So there's no objections from residents.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Any other questions? Okay, none. Right, members, over to you to debate. Councillor Higgins.
Well, as it's a very simple application, would never normally come to the planning committee, and it's probably going to be a bit like the next one after this. There's no objections by the neighbours. The parish council have discussed it and they've raised no objections. And so I'm happy for it. If Councillor Chandler was sticking her hand up, if she wanted to propose it, I'd be happy to make way. So I'm just making the obvious. It's an employee of the councillor.
I was just going to say move it, that was all.
So are you proposing?
Yes, move it.
Thank you. A seconder, Councillor Higgins. So thank you very much. Any other contributions to the debate? Councillor Steadman.
Sorry, yeah, I just want to come back to, can I just clarify that we're happy for them to have access across their front garden as well? Because that seems to be a point of contention with highways, or do we have to deal with that at a later date? Because I'm quite happy to go along with permit, but I was just concerned that there was a query from highways about access over the front for additional parking. I mean, I know they've got adequate parking around the back, so it doesn't really matter if it meets standard or not around the front, does it?
So the application itself includes drop curbs to the front and side of the property. So the vote will be taken on that part of the application also.
Any other member wish to comment before we go to a vote? No. Well, we have a proposal to permit. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Thank you very much. That's unanimous. Thank you. Right, the second item this evening is 4.2, which is 21/00318, the White Lodge, Green Lane, Goby, Marwood. This is Louise again to address the committee.
Thank you, Chair. If we can have the presentation again, please. Thank you. Again, not a lot to say other than the references within the report. This is a prior notification, so slightly different to planning applications, as you'll have been familiar from previous presentations to you. So it's an assessment of criteria. If you could have the next slide, please. So just for information, this is plot 1, and to show the very minimal alterations that are going to be made to make it possible to use as a dwelling, so windows, doors, etc. And if I could have the next slide, please. And again, with plot 2, for illustrative purposes, just to, again, to show that the works are not above and beyond those that are reasonable within the prior notification. We've assessed the limitations for this prior notification, and we've come to the conclusion that no prior approval is required for reasons as set out in the report. Thank you.
Any questions? Councillor Higgins?
I'm just doing this for transparency again, Louise, because obviously this is only brought to committee because it's councillor this time. Normally these applications again wouldn't come to the council at all, let alone the planning committee. It's only because it's a councillor has to be heard in public. Is that's correct, isn't it?
So it's a prior notification, and there's limited information to which would require prior notification if it didn't meet certain requirements. In this case, it's met all of its relevant criteria. And yes, it is only here because it is an elected member.
And it's a national policy of these prior notifications, really, isn't it? That's not really local planning authority.
No, it's a type as per your full application, outline application, prior notification, prior approval.
Any other questions? No. Over to you, councillors, to debate. I can't. No. Councillor Steadman.
I think most of us around this table can confirm that this was a farm yard and does meet Class Q. I don't really think there's a great deal to debate. I'd be happy to propose permit, unless anybody's got any other comments to make.
Can we have a seconder, please? Ah, Councillor Brown, spotted you.
Yeah, happy to second.
Any further additions to the debate? No. Can't see any hands up down there. No. Okay. Right. Well, we've had a the recommendation is to approve and recommend there's no prior approval of matters listed in Part Q2 are required, and the proposed change of use accords with all the criteria set at Class Q of Part 2 of the Planning General Permitted Development Order 2015 as amended, and the matters subject of conditions specified by Part Q2 of this legislation are also applicable to the circumstances of the case. So if we could have a vote on that recommendation, please. That's unanimous. Thank you very much, everybody. That's permitted. Thank you. Right. Item 5 on our agenda is the Development Management Performance Report. Do officers want to address the committee on this? Yes. Okay, off you go, Jim.
Very briefly, if I may, Chair. Those of you that have sat on the committee for a while will be familiar with this report, or reports of this nature, should I say. They're a regular feature, although this is the first one that we've presented for a good few months, because of the circumstances of the last year. That said, it's kind of the optimum moment to be doing a report of this nature because it can report the whole year. So this covers the entirety of 2021. My immediate remark would be that it's been a busy year, and if you can see it, paragraph 4.1, the breakdown of the workload, that what underlies that is something in the region of a 25% increase on the year before, which I'm sure at the beginning of the pandemic, we all thought we might have a quiet time. But it turned out exactly the opposite has come to pass. Other than that observation, really, it really is just a collection of key statistics and events, appeals, 106 receipts, 106 achievements for your information. You'll see that we're making a connection to the corporate reporting regime, which is altered from years in the past. So this rather bounces off that and delves into much more detail about the specific work of this committee and the department that it oversees. Other than that, I would invite your question and comment.
Any comments, members? Councillor Steadman?
Me as well. I'm getting used to my own voice now here. I'd just like to say well done. I know we've had officers out delivering leaflets calling people for COVID tests over the past 12 months. And I know that all the officers of the council have had to adapt themselves to new roles to get this borough through the pandemic. And I'm delightfully surprised to see these figures have maintained a very high standard throughout. So well done.
Councillor Posnett?
Thank you. I'd just like to say that given the difficult year that everybody's had, that our planning officers have delivered to us a remarkable service, given all the things that we've had to learn to adapt to working in different ways. And also the fact that we've had planning officers leave during the midst of an application that they were dealing with, and new planning officers have arrived and picked up that case and worked with it. So I think we couldn't ask for any more of our planning officers than what they've delivered to us this year. And I'd like to say thank you.
Any other comments? Can't see any hands raised. Oh, Councillor Higgins.
Yeah, it was just, I think also, it's the first time in the report I've seen the outline in section 8, the financial implications. And without going into all those figures, but the key stat there is 100%. And we've secured 100% of contributions that's been requested from various parties, including some in the villages as well. And it's great to see, and I praise Councillor Steadman for what she did with Stathen as well, securing extra contributions as well from Davidson's, I think it was at the time. And the community there did really well engaging with them. And I know they do the same in Frisbee as well. But it's really good to see, and the most interesting one is the medical practices, and hopefully, and it is this council's policy to secure a second doctor surgery. Hopefully we'll start to see that on there, and Melton will be good for the money for the CCG if they agree with us and our MP that we need a second doctor surgery. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, I think I totally agree with the three speakers and the things that they've said. I think this is a really good outcome during a very difficult year. And I would like to personally thank the planning team for their dedication to enable this achievement and our continued outperformance of the national targets. So well done, everybody. Can you pass my congratulations on and my thanks to the rest of the team, please? And we do need to note this report. So can we have a brief show of hands that we've noted the report, please? Thank you. Thank you, that's noted. I don't have any urgent business. So it looks like the meeting is complete and it is now at 6:20. So thank you, I'll now close the meeting. Gosh.